This, my friends, is an AI agent that I built for the sole purpose of this video. And if you follow the steps I'm about to show you, you'll be able to build AI agents yourself and sell them for some serious money. All that without writing a single line of code. That's right, AI agents are a must-have for every single business, and it's your turn to get your piece of the pie. And there's one tool I'm about to introduce you to that allow you to do just that. But first, what are AI agents? AI agents are like smart assistants who can do more than just repetitive tasks. You would train an agent by giving it a goal, you would give it memory or a knowledge base, you would give it specific instructions, and then you would allow it to basically take actions on your behalf, usually within the tools that you already use. And if I use the analogy of a pizza delivery agent, here is what it would be doing. The goal would be to deliver a pizza at a certain time at a certain place. In terms of memory, I would teach it how to drive. I would have it know the past 10 deliveries. Then I would give it access to tools such as the actual car it's going to drive the pizza with, a phone, a GPS not to get lost. And then it would autonomously be able to plan the best route to get there and actually take the action of driving the pizza over, calling the customer, dropping it off, getting paid, and any additional actions. And these agents can be used in 100 different ways. Customer service agents, sales agents, onboarding agents, secretaries, and the list goes on. Is it like ChatGPT? Kind of, but it actually is able to do a lot more than just have a very smart chat with you. It can take actions on your behalf, it can learn from its own behavior, and it can do all that while you're sleeping. And why does this matter? Because agents are secretly becoming the workforce behind so many businesses today, saving them time and helping them generate way more money. But Christian, I'm not technical. I'm never going to be able to do that. Think again. Because the tool I'm about to show you is specifically designed for non-technical people, and you can build agents just like the ones I've described in a matter of minutes. This, my friends, is Lindy.ai, the tool in question. It allows you to build agents in minutes and to automate workflows. Now, if we check out some of their solutions up here, we'll see that they focus on sales, customer support, recruiting, and the agents that you build can do things like phone calls, email automations, also meeting recordings, and there's plenty of templates that we'll jump into in just a second. Now, you can connect Lindy to a bunch of the existing tools that you already have. So how it works is that you basically select a trigger, just like automation. If this happens, then you want it to take a specific action. And so that's when you connect it to your apps, right? So there's a huge number of apps you can connect this to. And then you're basically going to give it some custom instructions that's going to allow that agent to know how it's supposed to respond in given situations. And the cool thing with this platform is that you'll be doing that in natural language. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, let's jump into the platform. I'm going to show you what I'm saying. Once you've logged in, not going to bore you with that, you'll hit this page and you'll notice that there are a huge number of different templates, right? So at the bottom here, you can click all templates if you'd like. And it's going to open up a huge number of different options that you have. These are pre-built agents that you simply have to set up. And this is exactly what we're going to be doing right now. Now, for the first use case, I'm going to be using a meeting scheduler, for example. So I can go ahead and click on this, and it's automatically going to prompt me to do a number of different things. This is essentially going to create an email address that is going to be able to help me schedule with people. So now I'm just going to click on add. I'm gonna go ahead and create that. Excellent. And as you see, it's basically asking me to connect my Gmail account. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect it. And after having logged into my account through Gmail, I can just go ahead and continue. Now, please enter a meeting link. So this is where you would drop your Calendly link or whichever calendar you actually use. So in my case, I actually use Google Calendar instead of any of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that. And just like that, it's actually set this up. So now let's test it out. This is the email address, and I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. Now I'm gonna click on continue. Congratulations, you've set up your meeting scheduler. And if you wanna see what's underneath the hood, you can go ahead and check out the flow editor here. You'll see this in each one of them. It's actually quite a complex process that's being built under here. This is a template, which is great. And you can also build these completely from scratch. But first things first, does this thing actually work? Well, let's take it for a spin. The first thing I'll do is that I will CC this scheduler, and then I'm gonna go ahead and send it to myself. So I'm gonna send an email to my info account. I'm gonna write out an email here. Hey Christian, I'm CCing my assistant so they can schedule some time for us to chat. All the best, Fake Christian. Now I'm gonna go ahead and send out that email, and great success, that email was actually sent. And now that I've received that email, I'll say, great, what time? I'll go ahead and send it. So I'm basically at this point just having a conversation with myself. But no, I'm not here to let you know that Gmail actually works. As you can see here, this automatically sent an email based on the availabilities that I have proposing 3 different times that we could set up to have a chat. This actually comes from my AI agent, and as you can see, it is directed towards me and fake me. And now if I answer and say, I'll take the 9 o'clock spot, I'll go ahead and send that off, and bam, I received this back. 9 a.m. on this day, and now I've scheduled a meeting with myself. Usually, meetings with myself are incredibly productive, so I'm not unhappy about this. But Christian, that was way too easy. Show me something that's a little bit more complicated. Okay, you got it. Let's create something more complicated. Quick side note, if you are a business owner and you're currently doing things manually and you haven't implemented AI inside of your workflows, then you, my friends, are at risk. More than 70% of companies are implementing AI, and it's allowing them to double their revenues overnight. And I know this because I run an agency that currently does this for businesses, helping them double revenues overnight. So stop doing manual tasks and get your employees to start working on the important tasks in your business. If you're interested in working with us, check out the link below and we'll see if we're a good fit. Now back to the video. So what am I going to build? Well, we run an AI coding bootcamp that helps entrepreneurs and business owners build apps and learn the process from start to finish. And as part of that, they get one-on-one coaching, but we also give them access to a Slack channel. And in that Slack channel, I would love to be able to have AI and agent surveil the questions that are coming in. And if we can find answers within the knowledge base we have, it could answer them for us, saving us probably about an hour a day on question and answers. So I'm gonna hop back in and show you how you can build it. First thing I'm gonna do is come back into my dashboard here and go and click on New Lindy. Click on this, and then I'm going to find the Support Slack bot. So this is a custom Slack bot to respond to team questions. Click on this, and now you're gonna see it's going to open up this chatbot basically. Now here we actually jump inside of it. The very cool thing that we can see here is that there is a full guide here at the top. So if I click on this here, you're going to be able to get full guidance on how to implement this. But what's interesting here is to actually see how it's being set up. So let's go back and start setting it up. The first thing, as you can imagine, is going to be to connect your actual agent, right? So it's like here, I want to connect it to Slack. I already connected Slack, but you can come here and add your account. Next step would be to choose the channel. So here I would basically choose General. I have a channel called General, and boom, select that as the channel. Then I could create a filter if I wanted to. In this case, I actually won't because I want it to surveil all the messages. As we can see here from the workflow, basically the way that it works is that when a message is received inside of Slack, then if this message requires a response, then it will check out the knowledge base. I'm gonna feed it a knowledge base that it can learn from, and then it's gonna answer that question inside of the Slack. Let me go ahead and set this up. Here, if we click on this, basically it just asks us for the logic we want. And this is, as you can see, it's in plain English, which is so amazing. Go down this path if the message received contains a question about, and in this case, I'm gonna say Lovable, because in our cohort, we talk about Lovable, Supabase, and a handful of other very powerful tools. But I'll stick to Lovable for the moment. And then I'm gonna come here, and found response is where I'm going to actually, I'm not gonna adapt this. It says, if you found the information in the knowledge base, then you can basically answer the question. So I'm just gonna keep it at that, which is perfect. Obviously, at this point, I'm gonna want to feed the actual knowledge base. So to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and configure it. Let's click on this. And it's gonna ask me here the specific information, right? I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna click on knowledge base, I'm going to add, and then for this specific case, I'm going to use information that is publicly available, right? Lovable has documentation, and if I use that documentation, I can be pretty sure it's gonna be pretty good. Documentation. Perfect, so this is the documentation here. I'm gonna grab this link, and now I come back here inside of Lindy. I'm going to click on this, and then you could either have it just read one page. In this case, I want it to crawl, meaning that it's gonna go and find all the sub pages inside of this documentation, and it's gonna use them as the knowledge base from which it's going to answer these questions inside of Slack. Hopefully this works. Let's wait and see. Excellent, now I'm gonna save. That took about 30 seconds. Now, one thing I do want to remind people of is that here, the knowledge base, I kind of went quickly over this. You can choose to upload files you have, text, you can connect it to Notion pages, a Google Drive folder if you'd like, other folders as well in these other two providers, and as well as websites and all this other stuff. So there's actually really cool options here in terms of how you feed the instructions or the knowledge or the memory that you want your agent to have. For this example, I'm just gonna be sticking to a very simple one. Then respond, I'm gonna come here, check out whether or not it works. Make sure that this is properly connected, excellent. And this now should work. So the next step is going to be to actually test it out. I can come here to the top. I'm first of all gonna save. I'm gonna click on test next as soon as that save button has finished, and then we're gonna see it in action. And for this, there are really two steps. The first one is to kind of test it out here and see whether or not it works. If I click on test, it's gonna ask me, do you wanna test the received message or the message answered, right? So I'm probably gonna click on this one, and then you can go through the process of actually testing it out in here. Now here what it does is that it goes to Slack, to that specific channel, and it finds other questions that people have asked, right? So in this case, I'm actually just gonna test it out live. So now I'm gonna come to my channel called General, and I'm just gonna ask it a question about Lovable. How do I connect Lovable to Supabase? And then question mark. I'm also gonna say, just testing something, friends, just so that they're not confused that I'm asking this very basic question here. Let's go ahead and send it. Excellent. And now if I come back in here, I can see just testing something, and I basically see it requires a response. Yes. Knowledge base condition met. We found an answer to this message in the knowledge base, which is perfect. And hopefully it's going to output the answer. Boom. Okay. Supabase button is giving me all the instructions here, but to check this worked, let's go ahead and check out Slack. Boom! And we see here that Lindy has answered this question. If I open this up here, we see that there is the full answer, and it even includes some links to the actual setup itself. So how are we going to generate revenue with this? Well, I'm glad you didn't ask, because I'm about to answer that exact question. So as you can probably guess, we're going to be selling our services, implementing AI for other people. But let me show you the exact process to do so. Number one, let's pick a niche. The first thing I'll do over here is I'm going to come over to ChatGPT. And this is what I'm going to say. You are a business analyst with experience finding small, very profitable niches. You're looking for an ideal customer profile to sell simple AI automations to. Please pick a niche that I could build simple Lindy.ai agents that I could charge $500 to $1,000 for. Let's go ahead and click on search the web too. Might find some good insight there. Let's see what it comes up with. Now, the reason why we're going to pick a niche here is because we want to become incredibly good at 1, 2, 3 types of agents. And this will give us an opportunity to reach out to these both in person, right? There are a lot of local shops that we could go after. Also individuals potentially. Now, the reason why we want to pick a niche is because ultimately we're going to have people land on a landing page, and we want this landing page to speak directly to that customer so that when they read it, they feel involved. And also you can be a specialist in this small section. And if you crush it for those people, you're likely going to be able to do it for many others as well. So you can expand that way. Excellent. So here it came up with legal services. It also came up with potential AI automations that could be built, contract analysis, legal research assistant, compliance monitoring, automated document review. So this is one niche we could choose, but honestly, we could choose so many others. So just think about a potential niche that you're interested in. It could be like personal assistants who have all these minute tasks they constantly have to do over and over. This would save them a bunch of time, right? Once you pick the niche for you, I would come back into ChatGPT and ask for it to basically build out a landing page structure that would be appealing to sell these automations to that ideal customer profile. Please create a prompt for a landing page to feed to lovable.dev, which is going to be our next step, to target these customers. Now this is important. I want you to write direct response copy. Provide all sections in detail as well. Now direct response is a way of writing that gets people to take action. And that's exactly what we want to use when we're writing for sales. And now we're going to see what it comes up with. But the next step is going to be to actually build a landing page that's going to represent this offer that we can put in front of people so we don't look like an amateur. Excellent. So it's done this now. And I'm basically going to just copy this entire prompt here. Benefits, testimonials, call to action, FAQ. Excellent. Contact information. So I'm going to grab this. Now I'm going to open up lovable.dev because the next thing I need to do is build out this landing page. I'm just going to type in, please create a landing page for AI agency services. And then I'm going to dump this whole prompt inside of here. And we're simply going to let AI do the trick. If you don't know what Lovable is, it's an AI coding platform that allows you to just, with prompts, build out software. And we have boot camps around this as well if you're interested in getting a bit nerdier. But for this case, we're literally just going to build out a landing page and publish it in just a couple of minutes here. Boom, and just like that, it's pumped out all of this. Let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, transform your law firm, AI-powered efficiency. And then it really shows you the kind of things you can do. It even has a fancy animation, and it tells you can schedule a demo or you can download the free guide. I go a little bit further. It basically is going to tell you some of the problems here. The average attorney spends 48% of their time on administrative tasks. That's nearly half your potential billable hours lost to routine work. Love it. And then when we come down here, it shows the solutions. I would probably adapt certain things here. I'm going to show you how we can do that in a second. But basically, it builds out the entire first version of your website and something that is going to be a lot more attractive for these individuals, right? So basic agent, then we could have an advanced agent, we could have premium agents as well. And let's say that this works pretty good for us. Note, look at this, it's written out all the FAQs as well. So I would have to do a number of different things here before I started, which would probably start with me basically allowing there to be a link to click behind this so that they could schedule a demo, and we can make all of these changes down here. I'm not going to take too much time. If you want, I have plenty of other videos talking about how to build out full apps with Lovable, but here I would probably just choose to publish it. I can come up here and I can basically publish, ultimately grabbing this link right here. And now this is live on the web on this URL, and you can go and check it out. I would probably add a little bit of spacing at the top. There's small things that I would adapt here, and I would definitely put links behind these two, but this already looks pretty good. And if I want to adapt anything, I would do so. Cool, so now we have a niche, we have an offer, we have a landing page that represents it, but how do we actually get in touch with these individuals? There are two key methods. The first one, which is probably underutilized in the digital age, is to literally walk into mom and shop offices and offer your services. And then when they ask you to leave a card, you simply give them access to your landing page. I would probably connect your landing page to a custom domain with a fancy name, and you'd be surprised how in-person actually works pretty well. Now, of course, I know for some of you, you are introverts and you don't want to have to go out there and talk to people ever. Well, that's probably going to be a problem in business. But anyway, let's say you wanted to do outreach online. There are 3 key steps that we have to do to run efficient outreach online. Step 1, build a list. You might get that list from an existing provider like Apollo or Zoom Info, but for a lot of people, they don't really like those approaches because everyone has access to the same data. A second approach I use is usually going to LinkedIn. So if I go in LinkedIn here, I want to find a list of lawyers who probably have small, medium business practices. So I could type things like lawyer in here, and I could go check out people, and then I could add a bunch of filters to this. So add all filters. We could say United States. We could say second connections. We could say legal services, law practice, and then we could simply show results. Now this would be a manual way for us to do it, and obviously we'd be able to do this a lot more effectively than this if we went through paid versions like Sales Navigator. There are also other platforms that can help you actually build lists from scratch. And I'm putting a link to Outbound in the description because you're going to see that there is going to be a very big release coming soon for Outbound. And get excited because this is going to make this whole process super streamlined. But anyway, let's say that here we wanted to grab these profiles. I would add all these profiles inside of a list basically. Then I would probably want to find a fun fact about them, scrape their email, send them an email, and also try to connect with them on LinkedIn and try to message them there. Well, let's take this one step further here. I could actually come here and find people who have higher intent, right? So let's say that I was looking for an event, for example, AI for lawyers. If I find an event, for example, let's go ahead and click on events, see if we find anything. AI and law. We know that there's going to be a number of people here, these people, that are basically interested in this matter. And we'll probably find that some of these people are actually lawyers. Now, when I join an event like this and click attend, I can click on this and see all of the employees. So when I click attend, just like that, I can now see who's actually a part of this, right? And I can see who is potentially a lawyer. So I might see that here, barrister and solicitor this is probably an interesting lead, right? Because it's someone that's showing that they're going to be attending a specific event that's talking about AI and law, and they're interested in solutions for themselves. Or I could come and search by groups and find the different groups that might actually be interesting for this segment. Look at this, AI in law, for example. I could choose to actually join this. And once I join, I would be able to check out and obviously I would have to wait for them to accept me, but then I would get access to 600 actual profiles that I could imagine are interested in AI in law, right? So if I find that some of these people are actual lawyers, it might be a great profile to go after. And so instead of trying to blast a bunch of emails out there, I would try to focus on maybe building a list of 100 different individuals that really fit the criteria and show interest in this matter to begin with, and then do very personalized outreach to each one of those. You might find a small customer is willing to pay about $500 for an individual agent, but some would be happy to pay up to $10,000 a month retainers. And I know this, my friends, because we have an AI automation agency as well. So whether you're targeting individuals or businesses, AI is going to start getting in the hands of everyone. And right now, people are trying to implement it for themselves and figure out how it works best. So your ability to just reach these people with the right message first is going to allow you to win some of these customers over and generate your first $10,000 in revenue. And AI agents are changing the world. But if you're actually trying to build something like an app, then I highly recommend that you check out this video, because I'm going to be breaking down every single step from scratch to build a full app without writing a single line of code. Yes, my friends, using AI. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you did. Have a great day. Let's go.